All right, so we looked it up in between parts. So the models or whatever we found for potential DLC, obviously that's not anywhere confirmed or even hinting towards anything, is 17, Cooler, Black Hair Goku, and Vegeta, Zarbon, and Raditz.
Who wants to play as Raditz? Seriously.
Somebody.
Honestly, though, Raditz is one of those characters that I kind of wish, for whatever fucking reason they bring back in some capacity.
He's Goku's brother, I think, is the big thing. Like, that's a huge thing to just actually completely
gloss
forget
over
exists.
It's a huge thing, although from what we know of Saiyan culture, not a particularly sentimental one.
Yeah, it's something that Goku should care about more than Raditz should.
It's something,
to be fair,
yeah, it's something that Goku should care about more than Raditz should. As far as Raditz is concerned, brother just means test tube baby from the same test tube. But I mean, it might as well be. I know there's something to do with Saiyan mothers and how children are born and all. I just don't care. The upshot is they treat their children with a lot of distance, and the fact that you were born of the same mother or father doesn't really matter to anybody. Like, well, it matters to Vegeta, but that's because he's the prince, you know? It's like family is a privilege that only the king and his son get to enjoy, as far as we know.
Even then, did they enjoy it, though?
Well,
Not really.
Insofar as Saiyans can enjoy anything, I suppose.
They enjoyed it by punching things, as Saiyans always would.
Yep.
I mean, they must have had some level of sentimentality for it, because even though Vegeta was a massive dick to Trunks, he still cared about the fact that Trunks was his only son. Enough to freak out during the Cell battle, anyway.
And there was always the "That's my Bulma" moments.
Yeah, but that was more of a laugh because it was Vegeta who was saying it.
I still think Vegeta was angry that he actually did the bingo dance.
I thought that was the best part of the movie. I fucking love that part.
Vegeta having that particular freak out was like a parody of the very worst grocery store romance novels.
Well, we got some strong opinions on that, I see.
I'm not just picturing Fabio in Saiyan armor.
Well, I mean, he's got the long blonde hair.
No,
so.
because it's like
Yeah.
And I've read occasionally. I've peeked into this kind of romance schlock. Just not necessarily sat down and read it, I should stress. But I browse the online ebook market from time to time. And you know, I can't judge a book by the summaries there, so I always have to at least peek into the book at some point. And there's this trend of possessiveness being romanticized, but the writer doesn't know how to romanticize anything without making it sound extremely stupid. So, yeah, it's a thing that happens, and it plays out quite a bit like that Vegeta scene, scarily so, in fact.
It's
So
weird.
this is like a special event that can happen. It's like Kid Buu just, I guess, I don't know.
Kid Buu
absorb
shows up
Captain
with
Ginyu?
Evil Boo's color scheme. Okay.
You just fight him
he
and get
is
a lot of experience.
He is a considerably higher level than your character right now. That said, the AI is no fucking different.
Yeah.
It's still
he
still
shouldn't.
stupid.
So
the difficulty only spikes only really in the third arc.
You can win just as easily, but you take more damage when you get hit. Is that right?
If you do, I don't know.
Ryan
because
hasn't
when I
gotten
got
hit
to
once
this part of
yet.
when I got to this part of the game, he didn't touch me once.
Like that.
Yeah.
So, would you
Yeah.
say that this is, for anybody with any casual experience with a fighter, that it wouldn't be that bad, or even
Oh no,
if you were...
you can beat until the final boss. You can beat this game pretty damn easily.
I think that's by design, honestly, because I think Arc System Works underestimates the Dragon Ball Z fighter fan base. Like they think they would alienate too many people if they made the difficulty curve.
Well, to be fair, I don't think a
curve.
game like this, at least on its base level, should be too hard. Like,
Well, no, that's the thing. Difficulty in fighting games always sucks, no matter what the balance is. Either it's really
Yes.
hard and the AI is a pain in the ass, or it's really easy and the AI is just no fun to play with. They're like precious few games who manage to hit a happy middle ground between the two.
I think the Street Fighter series had a decent arc throughout the arcade mode. It would start out easy and get difficult further on, whereas opposed to say SNK or the Dead or Alive series, which has the boss syndrome of just having a stupid boss.
I will grant you that for some of the Street Fighter games, but not for 2 or 4. Because in 2 and 4, basically when the game got hard is when it started reading your moves and basically
you
hitting
guys
you with the
need to
Sonic
play
Hedgehog's
more
fucking
Mortal.
home
You
again.
guys need to play more Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Or a Jinpachi from Tekken 5.
That's actually very true. Mortal Kombat's final boss does suck.
You wanna tear your fucking hair out because of the AI reading your inputs and just straight up cheating. You play Mortal Kombat 2. Right?
That's
It's like
what I heard. That was a big SNK thing as well. Is that series reads your inputs to cheat?
Yeah. They
Well,
always
yeah,
read your
part-
inputs. It's they
part
just
of
decide
it-
whether to block or not.
Part of it is that they want to somewhat emulate the experience of playing against a human, but an AI can't play mind games with you.
Yeah, and humans can't do throws off 1 frame.
Yeah. So the input reading is basically a substitute for an intelligent mind predicting your moves, but it's too good of a substitute. It does it too consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's predicting moves and then reading your goddamn mind.
Yeah. There's a thing called SNK boss syndrome for a reason.
Yeah.
So then, how do you
And for
beat
a while,
a boss that
it
literally cheats?
was called the MK Walker. because the Mortal Kombat AI might as well have been Unstoppable Sentinel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Why is his snoring using his stock generic mouth flap animation as if he's talking? Come on.
Because it's the only thing they have
He is
animated.
kind of murmuring. Also, this game does something annoying that just drives me nuts. I don't know how flexible the actors and actresses were for ad-libbing lines, because sometimes they say shit that the subtitle is just straight up saying something else completely.
Yeah, or usual shtick of the mouth flaps don't match the voice acting at all.
You know what it probably is? They probably had the Japanese subtitles going on, translated the subtitles before the acting happened, and then just didn't have any coordination between the two localization aspects. It happens sometimes.
Man, if that was the case, I would have liked Piccolo to sound like. Have you guys ever read the original, Volume 1 of Dragon Ball Z?
Nope.
Yeah.
If you ever get the chance, look it up and bask at Piccolo's speech patterns that they quickly drop after Volume 1, where he has a way more sophisticated tongue.
Oh, that's probably
like-
them trying to emulate him using a certain type of honorific or voice pattern in Japanese.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably what they were doing early on. I imagine if you were to read that in Japanese, it would be more consistent. But,
Most likely. Here, I got the manga right here. I'm gonna find an example.
It's kind of like how in Dragon Ball Super, the English dub, Son Channel's for Goku Black, when he first starts out Goku Black, he's this really dark,
it's kind of
growly
like
voice.
it's kind of the same deal about how they had Naruto saying "believe it" all the time early on
Oh, I
in the
couldn't
anime, but
stand that.
dropped it. Yeah, they dropped it. It was his substitute for the Dataibayo thing, but they realized it was infinitely more annoying in English when you did that than a verbal tick would be to the Japanese. So they dropped it and just sort of ignored it from that point on. Sometimes,
Yeah.
if they needed to fill lip flapping space that was left over by the Dataibayo, they would just have him say which is a lot more innocuous.
Yeah, it really, because that really did bug the shit out of me, because at the time when the English dub came out, I was a huge fan of the sub from just torrenting that, and the dub is actually really good, but that "believe it" at the end of every fucking sentence, my god.
Yeah, thankfully it only happens during the early seasons. I think that was...
Yeah, here we go. Piccolo talking to Raditz. Then why do you come here? Wish you to die? What say you? Know you not the one to whom you sow such insolence? And my tongue's already on
I
fire.
remember that now that you're saying it, yeah.
Thinks he himself that powerful? I mean, they got the hiyas right, but
Just to be sure what I was saying earlier, that but Black Goku's really dark and growly at the start, and then at some point he just becomes British.
it's like, guys, I'm tired. Can I just do this? It's fine.
Wow, Piccolo's such a good guy. Reminds me of that time he almost tried to kill me. Like, the 6 times
And the
he
time
almost tried to kill
he
me.
abducted my son, it was a better father than I ever was.
Dude, okay,
After said abduction.
I'm gonna, okay, because Piccolo literally almost has Gohan starve. Alright, like... That's pretty Goku.
He was always watching over him, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but he also
Well, okay.
if you that's neglectful parenting. All right.
Okay, a lot
At
of
least
people
Goku was actually dead. So
Okay, a lot of people give Goku a lot of shit for his parenting, but we don't actually see what Goku is like as a parent when he's actually parenting in the time skip between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Or like the
So-
1 year in the Room of Spirit and Time as well.
We got because I kind of get the assumption like from Gohan's conception up until the beginning of Z, he was a pretty doting father.
He was
You know,
he was trusted enough by his son that his son would hide behind his leg, which is usually
Yeah.
what you see them do
You
with
know,
their
he went to the
mother.
woods. He
So-
got he punched the shit out of fish to feed his family. Things like that. But it's like after the Raditz incident and after he dies, it's like they don't really focus on that
Goku is
anymore.
either in dead, he's either in hell, or he's in space, or he's in space again,
I
or
mean,
he's dead
aren't we all?
again, or he's sick with a heart
So-
disease.
Some dads go get cigarettes, Goku goes to space.
hey Gohan, where's your dad, huh? Oh, he said he went to space. He'll be back soon, though. Oh yeah, my dad said he was going to space, and then my mom had to get a restraining order.
Now it's Goten that you really gotta feel pity for, because he was just sort of conceived in between deaths.
And that was when Goku decided not to come back.
Goten's conception is still so confusing to me. It's like one random time Goku says to Chi-Chi, "Let us fuck," before we fight Cell.
Right.
And then it's just a thing that
He
happens.
needs to knock one out before he went to fight and save the world.
Yeah, Hey, baby, look, I think it's time to pump out another unit.
Okay, so that was also something I don't get. Why does Goku just decide to not die
Well,
or just stay dead or
who
whatever?
on earth is assuming it was Goku's decision? Does he seem like the guy who would make that decision?
He
no,
did,
I think
actually.
It's Chi-Chi.
No, I'm wondering why did Goku stay dead if he could have come back to life?
After Cell, he said, "Okay, everyone seems to be following me back to fight me. I'm just going to stay dead, so they have no reason to come after everyone."
Which would never happen
I don't
nowadays.
mean the stay dead decision. I mean the let's do the nasty decision. I think that was probably something Chi-Chi wanted.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Goku was probably going to die fighting Cell, so she needed something to heal the hole in her heart if he did.
Goku's too
I'm
much
going to
of
put a baby in you
Goku's
and
too
then
much
go
of
to space again.
of a one-track-minded person to really think about that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same guy who originally thought marriage was a type of food.
Anyway,
I mean, is it?
Man, these fights are like actually all filler. Now that I
Yeah.
we're fighting clones of the same characters over and over again. Come on.
Yeah, it's
This is
literally-
the lamest thing ever.
the most challenging part of story mode is trying to figure out how you can get to the boss in as few fights possible. I'm not even kidding.
Okay, the whole clone thing is just absurdly lazy, and I say this as someone who was kind of exasperated by Xenoverse 2 basically making you do the same thing Xenoverse 1 had your other player character doing, but at least that had the excuse of, it's time travel. Okay, your first character went back in time and fixed the timeline, but now the timeline's screwed up again, so your second character has to refix it. Okay, I can at least suspend my disbelief for it. I'm not gonna be smiling at you and patting you on the back for masterful storytelling, but it at least makes some amount of sense. I can deal with that. The clones, on the other hand, are just so blatantly video game laziness.
By the way, we're never going to be doing any Cell Frieza storyline because this is the entire story for them right here. Them bickering and then stuff happens.
Oh, so wait, there's a Cell and Frieza storyline where they're working together?
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything interesting with it.
Nope.
That just sums this game up right here. Come on.
Really, all they do is just fight between each other about who's stronger and who gets to fight Goku.
That should have been the best and funniest part of the game.
Yeah,
Imagine
you literally have Cell and Frieza going around with the Ginyu Force and Nappa tailing at their heels, and nothing
Imagine
interesting
if
is
there
done
was
with
a
it.
manga arc about that, though. It would be hilarity ensues the storyline. Come on, Akira Toriyama would have made so much more fun happen with this if he had written it as a manga arc. In
I
fact,
think that-
Toriyama, if you're listening to this, and you can understand English, I don't actually know. If you're listening to this, do that. In Dragon
Do that
Ball
thing I
Super
said.
would be the
If
best
not
part.
Toriyama,
To be fair, we
Toyotaru.
may get like an arc at some point doing that, because after all, we got a spin-off manga by a different artist of being reborn as Yamcha.
Yeah, I think it was it Toyotaru
I think it
who
was.
did that? The one that's drawing Super now.
I think it was. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, the spin-off manga of being
Yeah.
reborn as Yamcha.
I forgot that was the
I
thing.
hope he gets a little more creative control, because I think he has a little more ambition for like.
I
Dragon
like
Ball
how he draws
characters.
them a lot better than how they're drawn on the show.
Well, I think that's easier to be consistent with, though. To be fair to the animation, so.
True.
Yeah.